welcome to the second to last monochromatic reading vlog. If you saw the first vlog of the month, the one where you read free ebooks that I got, yes, it's the same day as the last clip was filmed. It's been a few hours. This was not planned. We started as early. Like I have almost a whole week until I can start the one for the weekend reading vlog, of course, which is the one that comes out in between the two, right? So here I am. We can blame H, and I'll explain when I talk about the book that I'm going to start in like a hot second. But first I'm going to talk about the other books. And what this is. Basically, I've been doing this thing for some time now, I think since May of last year, where I read 5 books in each vlog, each of which have a monochromatic theme. The prominent color in the cover is a certain color. It's a fun time. There's a whole entire playlist that will be up above the cards if you want to watch the others. The favorite to watch would probably be the red one, which I did in December, because I really did not like any of them. If you count DNFs as 0 stars, that's the one with the lowest average rating. The one with the highest average rating is the orange one. So that is, yeah, that's a thing. If you want to check those out. But today we're doing pink because Valentine's month. And whatnot. It's not a surprise that a lot of these are romances. I didn't originally plan to do this in February when I originally started planning these out. I didn't know when it was going to be. So I was going through when I was originally making the list. And I mean, it's not a surprise that like most books with pink covers happen to be romances, okay? It's not a surprise there, but I tried to like even it out. People are below me in the kitchen. I'm sorry if you can hear it. Ignore it. But there's only one that is confirmed not a romance, and that is the mystery thriller Lock Every Door.
So, editing me here to inform you, yeah, I'm not reading the Riley Sager in this. It is explained why at a further point in the vlog. It's whatever. Just know that's why it's not on the thumbnail, because I'm not actually reading it for this. So yeah.
There's that one. The other one from the library that I should probably read soon, because I actually do have it, is the audiobook of The Princess Diaries. I don't know what I'm expecting. I mean, I'm not expecting some like great thing. I just thought it was gonna be like a palate cleanser for all the romances. Just a fun time. The audiobook is like 6 hours long. Also, I did in the TBR for February say that when I was looking up how long it was, that there's some versions that are narrated by Anne Hathaway. I don't know how many or what. Apparently, because I did check, and by I check I mean I looked at the cover on Libby, and it is narrated by Anne Hathaway. So that will be fun at least. But yeah, it's only 6 hours, so I can like totally knock it out in a few hours. Have a good time. I don't know when I'll do that, but that will probably be sometime soon, because I think I only have like 9 days left on my, not hold, but my loan. There we go. Took me long enough. One of the physical books is Dating Dr. Dale, which is one of the books I got from Book of the Month randomly last year. I didn't know much about it, but I'm here for it. It's fake dating. I love fake dating. And I'm really intrigued by her, okay? I'm into her. Basically, he's like a doctor on, or like a host, but also a doctor on like one of those doctor TV shows, you know, and whatnot. But he wants to use his fame to pay or to promote or create a local community health center, right? But like he doesn't have the, like, it takes a lot of money, so he needs people with deep pockets. She makes a deal with her father after he decides to get rid of her mother's house, that if she gets engaged within the next 4 months, then she gets to keep the house. right? Weird deal, but sure. Whatever. I assume I'm gonna get more context in the actual book itself, right? And then there's like some fight that they have. I don't know why. I don't know how they know each other or anything like that. And because of that, the only man in her life, is this man who she just went viral with. And so he, I assume, uses the fame to make the health center happen. And part of the deal is that they get engaged, fake engaged for her deal with her dad, right? Makes sense. Kind of giving me the second book in the Brown Sisters trilogy. Was it Donica? Giving me kind of that kind of vibe now that I'm thinking about it. And I'm down. I love that book. So very excited. Of course, romance. The other romance that is not a physical book, but I do own on my Kindle, is Neanderthal Seeks Human. Very different based off of what you would think it is based off of the title. But basically, this is like the first book in a spin-off series off of another series that I have read the first book of, which was Truth or Beard, and I really liked it. I read it in, I think, 2020, rated it 4 stars, really liked it. It's about the small town, all these brothers who live in this small town and whatnot. All these brothers have one sister. She is the heroine of this book, and it's a spin-off series about her knitting club in the city. I think the series is called Knitting Club in the City or something like that. And the first one follows her to connect the two. And then the rest of them, I assume, are the other members in the knitting club, right? It's a romance, that's all I really know. Good times. And then the one we start today. Now we get to talk about why I'm starting this now. On the 6th of February. So far ahead schedule. So I was messaging H and I was like, you know, I should probably read something. So like, I'll just give H a list of numbers to choose between, and each of them will mean a different thing. 1 will mean the book that I'm already reading. 3 will mean the buddy read we're doing that H already finished the book for, and 2 will mean start a book for the vlog. And then H chose 2. And then I was like, well, damn. I might as well give H a list between 1 through 5, and then whichever one H chose would correlate with the list that I have on my computer, right, for this vlog. And which H chose 4, which is this book, which happens to be a book H has DNF'd. And it's One Last Stop by Casey McCriston. I've read Red, White, and Royal Blue. That took too much for me to say. I don't know why. I've read it twice. One time in 24 hours. Before I would have filmed it. Really loved it. Rated it 5 stars. I'm obsessed with that book, low key. Almost bought it for H for Christmas. And whatnot. I know almost nothing about this except I think there's time travel or something to do with that type of thing, which is totally my speed. Lesbians and trains. Okay, quick glimpse of the synopsis. Her name's August. I love her. She looks adorable. Basically, she has just moved to New York City. She doesn't believe in like the romance of life and all that fun stuff, right? Life is life. She works at a 24-hour restaurant of some kind. I think it has to do with pancakes. A pancake diner. Wow. And I think she has like 2 to 3 roommates. I don't remember which one. In this small place in New York City. And she sees this beautiful girl named Jane on the subway. And her crush on the subway is like a daily part of her life. That is like her favorite part. But then it turns out Jane is actually displaced from 1970s. And she's gotta help save her. That's fun. That's fun. And yeah. So this one is, I think, the longest for this vlog, but like the text size is giant. I mentioned that in the TBR. So yeah, I'm going to go start this now. I want to get maybe a third of the way through. I say that, but it's like almost 6 o'clock at night. That's why there's no weird flare thing on the edges, because both my it's so dark outside, it doesn't, you can't see anything out there. But H just sent me a message that said so I'm gonna go see what's happening there, and yeah, I'll probably update you tomorrow morning with how far I get in this book. Welcome back to me wearing a hoodie with the hood up era, because I don't feel good. I don't feel bad, but like I slept weird, and so my neck feels all weird. Yeah. Anyways, and then also me telling you I'm gonna update you and then don't. It's been 2 days. And you know, we love that I'm in my DNFing era, okay? Yeah, I got to page 85, 86. I think it was around 16%, so like a whole 10% more than H got. Very proud of that. Yeah, no, instantly, like I instantly understood why H DNF'd it. The writing style in this is so weird. It's very casual, like, and I'll talk more about that in a bit, because the next book I read for this vlog, or started for this vlog, I'm about the same percent of the way through, almost, in like one night, that it took me to get in this book. They're like both pretty long books, and they both have casual writing styles, but I like that one more, okay? So I'll talk about it in a second. I'll talk about it. But yeah, no, it is the casual writing style. Generally not it. I would have been fine with it if it wasn't for, I'm sorry, I'm gonna say her name, August character. The way that August character is written is very standoffish and guarded, which is fine. I'm fine with that, but also at the same time, she's very, very judgy, and it's very much like, I hate this thing and this thing and this thing. I don't like magic, and I don't like psychics, and I don't like all this stuff. And I don't like friends, and I don't like blah blah blah. And then as soon as like she needs a psychic to help her with the whole Jane situation, she's all like, "Ooh, psychics, blah 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 blah." And I'm just like it's yeah. She only likes the thing when she can use it type situation, and whatnot. Also, it very much is like romanticizing living in New York City in your mid-20s without having any life plan, which, like, get it, same. But also, like, in a character that also just, like, hates on every aspect of it. So, like, I guess the only thing she really doesn't hate on is just, like, living in New York. She likes living in New York. Like, that's it. I look like an egg person with this hood on. Anyways, and yeah, I didn't like her character. Jane's character was actually nice. I liked Jane's character. The side characters I enjoyed. And whatnot. But yeah, no, I was having trouble reading this. I think around page 69 when I picked it up then last night. I was like, you know what? If it gets any worse, I'm just gonna DNF it. Because people were like, go ahead and DNF it. It's not the biggest deal. And I'm like, cool. Because I was talking to people on sprints, and one of those people have read this book. And they're like, yeah, no, it's not worth it. So I continued, like, what, another 6 pages? Or 16 pages. I can't math, apparently. To get to the point where, yeah, I DNF'd it. Because I was like, no, I can't anymore. It's just so slow, and I don't understand anything. Like, there's 80 bits of, like, magical realism in here. Where, like, August, one of August's roommates, is a part-time psychic. And, like, he notes certain things, about her that, like, there's no way he could know these type things. Like her favorite flower and whatnot, right? As soon as they first meet, right? And then, like, the diner she works at, has, like, a magical feeling and all this stuff. And the way that everything is in this diner is kind of, like, out of place at a time, but, like, kind of very magic-y. And then there's, like, Jane's character in general, and the whole entire relationship with her. It feels very, like, slightly magic. And, like, August's whole entire character is that she doesn't, like, well, part of her character is that she doesn't like magic. and psychics and such. And then she's like living in the city, and there's like just little bits of magic everywhere. That was like, I didn't like it. That part, like I really didn't. Like I've read magical realism and I've enjoyed it. I don't know what it was. I think it was the way that it was ran in this book. But like, yeah, no, she was living in this world that clearly has like magical stuff going on slightly in the background. And then she's talking about how much she loves living in New York City. But yeah, no, I was gonna continue to try to get to the steamy scenes, because I heard about those. And then I was like going to look up what pages they were, because I was like, I'm just gonna skip ahead, right? And then I found this grade A review. I'm gonna link it below because this person understands me and my soul. They like went into great detail. They're the one that pointed it out to me that like the writing style is very casual, and it's written in such a casual way that's weird type way, right? And that's why I don't like the writing style. Lovely. But this person in the review talks about the plot and the romance and whatnot. And I mean, I already knew the steamy scenes were gonna be on the subway train, right? And like, I was like, there's other people there, right? But like, I was like, no, maybe, I don't know. No, apparently like there's actually like other people on the train as they're doing it. And yeah. Yeah, I'm good. I don't need to read that. And then there's just like some little other small things, like the kind of just like low-key erasure. Listen, I'm not gonna do it justice, so like, because I didn't actually read that part, so like actually read that review because it's actually good, unlike anything I do. But there's this one part where the writer of that review almost DNF'd the book because it low-key did some erasure of like violence against queer people, and not even queer people, but like BIPOC queer people, because like Jane's Chinese, and whatnot. So like there's apparently a point where like some man calls her a bunch of homophobic and racist slurs, and a bunch of like, she gets into a fight, all this stuff, blah blah blah. And August is like, that doesn't really happen anymore, it's fine. If you just left the train, you'd realize that. And it's yeah, it's, yeah. Ignore the sounds of my mom in the kitchen below me, as I finish talking about this book. Okay, she just went down the basement stairs, so I weird cut, because that's like very obvious, because like the stairs are right here. So yeah, and then there's just also the fact that apparently August is the one that has to save Jane, like no matter what, blah 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 blah. Which kind of gives white savior aspects thrown in, being as August is white and Jane is Chinese, and Jane has to be saved by August. Also apparently the sci-fi aspect, like the stuck in the train thing. Thank you, dog. So many interruptions. Fine, you can get on my bed. And there's another one climbing up the stairs. Apparently like it has no point in the story. The whole entire thing is like, it's supposed to be the thing that keeps them apart. So like, you could have just ran any normal life thing, okay? So yeah, I DNF'd it. I'm upset because this was an add-on. I realized this, that it was an add-on. It wasn't like a normal month book. It's part of their Love Stories collection, which means I did it as an add-on. It's gonna go on the untitled pile after the wrap up for this month. It's not a surprise. I got mad last night. I was like, I spent like extra money to get this book. I didn't even do like my normal subscription. I paid extra money to get this book. Why? And then also like the fact that the actual like book, like physically, is like wrong. Like the dust jacket doesn't fit it properly. Like it's folded wrong, so it's all warped and stuff. Yeah. Okay, quick coffee break while people are walking around. So I had H do the similar thing as before, when H chose one last stop for me to read, where I give H 3 numbers, H chooses one. I mixed up the numbers and still H chose the vlog. Why? And then chose 1 through 3 again, because without one last stop or the Riley Sager because I don't have it from the library yet. That's 3 left. And it shows Neanderthal seeks human. I think I was wrong. In the when I was giving the synopsis, the 2 series that I was talking about are connected, right? But I'm 99% sure that the main character, the main heroine in this book, is not the sister. I think it's like the 4th one or something. I don't know. There is for sure the 4th book in the Knitting Club series, right? The 4th one is also part of the other series, the connecting series, the Winston Brothers series, is that what it's called? So like they're from the same series, like they're connected by the 4th book in this series. So they are connected. I just was wrong how they were connected, and that's fine. Also, I learned that the Winston Brothers series, I actually own the 3rd book. I don't have the 2nd one, but I have the 3rd one. And I read the 1st one from, I think it was like free on Amazon one day, and I was like, sure, bye. But yeah, here's the thing. Penny Reid also writes very casually, but the way she writes it is also kind of lighthearted and funny, while also dealing with like the main character's mental health and whatnot. Like there's like hints at stuff with August's mental health and one last stop, whatever. It's very gritty in that one. In this one, it's very just simple, casual, having a fun time, easy to read. Like I accidentally got to like 12% this morning. Like, yeah. And it's a fun time so far. Okay, I was worried. I'm still worried. And I have theories. Okay, so Janie, has been in like a 5-year relationship with her boyfriend John. Every man named John in these books. Ooh. And then turns out he was cheating on her. The reason she finds out is because she finds the condom wrapper in the back of his jeans when she goes to do his laundry. The way she's more angry about the fact that she found out because he put the wrapper in his pocket is so me and so valid. Okay, like she's like, listen, you cheat on me, that's your issue. You put it, like you make it so obvious, it makes me feel dumb for not recognizing. Okay, like so valid, so valid. And then she goes to work, and a bunch of other stuff goes wrong. Like she spills coffee all over herself, her brand new really expensive heels, because like, that's the one thing she indulges on, breaks, and all this stuff. And she gets to work. Also, she's run out of conditioner, so her hair is super frizzy. That's the other one. She gets to work, and they're letting her go. Which is, I'll talk about it because I'm suspicious about that. And because she was also living with her boyfriend, she is now homeless, unemployed, and single all in the same day. So she moves in with one of her best friends, who has like a slightly larger apartment. Still technically a 1-bedroom, I think. But like there's enough room where she can be there as well, and they can be comfortable, right? And her friend is part of the knitting club. She is not part of the knitting club because she doesn't know how to knit, but she does hang out with them whenever they do the knitting club. So they have like a bunch of similar friends and all this stuff, right? And they're talking about all the stuff that's gone down. Now, the security guard that escorted her out is this guy who like started working at this office somewhat recently. And she's kind of had a thing for, because he's like super attractive and all this stuff. And where I'm at now, she is now at a club, for fun, because like they just need to get out of the house type thing, right? And he's there, and she's like, yeah. And that's kind of like the plot so far, right? I think he's the love interest. I don't know his actual name. She calls him Sir McHotz a lot or something like that. So, you know, very crazy that would be that way. Very fitting, because I'm pretty sure the person who came up with that nickname is the best friend who is some type of doctor or nurse. A lot of the people in the knitting club are doctors or nurses. Like, they all work together. Now, there's 2 other things I can talk about. One, the mental health. The Janie is, like, very anxious. So the way she thinks about things and the way she blurts things out, is very different from a normal person. Some ways that like her friends treat her based off of this is like a little weird. I'm like, why would you drag her to a club when you know that like it could be overstimulating for her, right? But like also like the friend offers to like leave like 5 minutes into it because like she notices that she's having some trouble, all this stuff. So like sometimes I'm on a little bit of fence, but like they don't treat her any differently. They just recognize when she is having trouble and help her out and whatnot. So yeah, that's the thing. That's why she's always had trouble dating and whatnot. But it turns out like in the elevator when she was being escorted out, the security guard guy that she has a thing for really was like into her random trivia facts. So you know, we love that. But yeah, it's giving me the bookish life of Nina Hill right now from the Orange Reading vlog. Like it's giving me that. And I'm not mad about it. Like I really like that book. So it doesn't have the weird secret father plot line, which is fine. And it's more romance heavy, I assume, because it's a romance book. But I think I'm gonna like it based off of that. Now, we gotta talk about my theories and this whole job situation. So, turns out the reason she got the job interview at this office is because of her ex John, who's like super rich. His dad got her the interview. And then like less than a few hours after she leaves John, she gets let go. It's on a Tuesday, which like in like her trivia knowledge stuff you learn, that's like a very rare thing. They normally do it on Fridays in Western society because lesser chance of them coming back the next day on a work day to wreak revenge of some kind, right? Kind of makes sense. So that happens. And then the way is normally one of the other members of the knitting club is also works in HR in some aspect or something, and she's gonna look into it because she's like, no, it's a little suspicious because one, they had a security guard escort her out. That's not normal. Two, normally they do 5 letting go, like they let go 5 people at a time. They only let her go on a weird day out of the blue. Like it's really in question. The way they do it is they take her to this elevator, take her to the basement, to like the security office, make her sign a bunch of paperwork that she barely skims over. Which like I'm expecting something to be in that paperwork, right? And then they're like, well, we need your address. And she's like, I don't have one because like she just left her boyfriend and she was living in his apartment, so she doesn't have an address. And so then they're like, well, blah blah blah, here's the card, because she also doesn't have a cell phone, so like call when you have a new place of residence, blah blah blah, right? The McHottie guy is there, and he like low-key is flirting with her, but she doesn't recognize that as flirting and whatnot. And then they put her into a limo to take her home, and like she spends like all afternoon in this limo trying to figure out where she's going, and no one like care. Like, what is, I've never been let go from a position like that, but like I'm pretty sure that's 100% suspicious. And being as the reason that she got the job is because of the ex's father, I'm thinking like there's some connection there. Okay, there's some connection there. And speaking of which, there was like a recent phone call with the ex, and on the phone he's all like, no, we're gonna work through this, I want to work through this, I want to take care of you. Like it's very much like controlling, I'm going to take care of you, I still want to work for this, it's not over yet. And she's just like, you cheated on me, it's over. And she's like, it's not over yet, it's like, I want to take care of you, please let me take care of you, why don't you tell me anything anymore, I want to take care of you. And she's like, you cheated on me, I left, stop. So I think there's something there. I think there's some connections there, I'm just gonna say it. And yeah, also there was like a hint that like the only person who actually does that department's job properly is Janie. So by letting her go, it's like a little more suspicious, I don't know. But yeah, that's what's happening. I finally have taken the vlog. I'm gonna go, I want to try to finish this book today, so that tomorrow during sprints I can start a different book. So yeah, Okay, someone remind me to plug in my fridge after this. I sometimes forget for like a few hours and then I'm going to bed and then I'm like, oh, whoops. And it's like pretty early in the morning. It's like just after 9:40 in the morning, which is why I'm gonna do this fast because sprints are at 10. Okay. But I did manage to finish, basically read all of Neanderthal Meets Human yesterday. I think before yesterday I reached 7%, and then I reached like the 12% mark when I went to update, and then I just read the rest of it. It's a miracle being as I didn't really start reading until like noon, and we're thinking age for that. And I've got things to say. One, I think I'm clairvoyant because no, it's not that I'm clairvoyant. It's actually because like it was very obvious all the like plot twists and whatnot. Yes, I was very right about the ex who cheated on her, making it so she lost her job. Basically, the person he cheated on her with is her younger sister. His reasoning, his excuse is, and I quote, "I wanted to be closer to you." And then, in order to make it, after she left him, to make it so she would have to come back to him, he made it so she was fired from her job, so that she would have no money and nowhere to live. And apparently it didn't connect in his brain that his girlfriend is actually really smart and, like, has friends, so, like, moved in with one of her friends, got a new job, like, you know, but yeah, I'm very clairvoyant. There was also another thing near the end that I kind of guessed right, so you know, we love that for me. Now, this book in general, I still like the writing style. It's the characters that are the issues in this book, and I think it's because it's a product of its time. It is very 2013, which is when it came out. I was thinking like early 2010s. And then I looked at the year it was published. I was like, yes, makes sense. And the previous book by Penny Reed I had read was a book that came out in the mid 2010s, I think 2015, 2016. So, you know, I think that had to do with some of it, and whatnot. But, you know, that's fine. That's fine. I have, like, small little complaints, throughout. There would be, like, things where people would be having a conversation, and then the chapter would end, or the section would end, and you go to the next one, and, like, the two did not connect. Like, my obvious example that I was screaming at H about last night was that at one point, after the two characters, Janie and Quinn, that's his name, finally get together. They're finally together, all this stuff. But she wants to figure out how she feels about this whole entire thing emotionally, you know. It's like a big step they're taking. He is her boss. Also guessed that 1 mile away. Like, I guessed that around 25% in, and it didn't like come up until like 75% in, and I was like, guys, how did I guess that? How did no one else get that except for me? Like, every other character was like, wow, didn't see that coming. But anyways, it's like this whole big thing. She's now dating her boss. It's this, yeah. And she wants to figure out her own emotions, and in order to do that, she has to sit down on her own and think about it, right? Which means leaving him for like a few hours makes sense. And so he's all like, I want to spend the night with you. I want to take you out to dinner. And she's like, nah, I got my knitting club tonight and all this stuff. And he's all like, gets angry that she wants to spend time with her friends instead of with him. Little red flag. There's a few little red flags around. You know, it's fine. And then she eventually explains to him that, like, she's really into him. She too wants to make this like a permanent thing, and whatnot. But she's got to figure out how she wants to feel. And so then it like goes into him saying things like, so I'm gonna take you out tomorrow night, right? And she's like, yeah. And he's like, and then instead of going to your knitting club, we'll hang out tonight. And she's like, sure, question mark. And then it cuts to him taking her to the knitting club. Like, I'm pretty sure they just agreed that she was gonna spend the night with him instead of going to the knitting club, and then he took her to the knitting club. Like, can you connect the two? Okay. There's also the whole cell phone thing where she doesn't want a cell phone. Her brand of, I do not know her specific diagnosis, but her mental health, she finds it difficult to pay attention to things, right? Makes sense. Especially in the real world. So having a cell phone with her constantly, she feels like will make it worse and make it more difficult for her to pay attention to things. Understandable. Like, you're in her head throughout most of this book, so like you can like obviously see where she's coming from. She tries to explain this to him, and he's like, no, you have to take this phone. There's like a 10-page section where like he forces her to take this cell phone against her will, and it's like very red flaggy. And I was thinking about it, and I think it was supposed to show that he brings her out of her comfort zone. Which, like, in general, you can already tell, because, like, they're doing public displays of affection, and that's, like, very much not her. She's willing to talk about her family. That's very much not her. She doesn't ramble that often with them. That's very much not her. She's willing to ramble to him. A lot of the times, she stops herself from rambling off facts and whatnot because it makes people uncomfortable. She's been told by people throughout her life to stop doing that. And all that fun stuff. So she stops on her own because she doesn't want to be considered weird, but he continuously eventually, like, he does this thing where he asks her to actually tell him the fact, and then she does, and so she just starts freely giving him facts, not like all the time out of nerves, but like just for fun sometimes, and like he likes it, and like she feels safe to do that with him. Like, clearly he's bringing her out of her comfort zone. You don't have to do the cell phone bit, and the cell phone is not important at any point in this book. Like, she just leaves it around in her apartment half the time, or in her office, because she doesn't want it. So, like, why is it important? Why? But yeah, that's, like, the red flags. I did write, like, some things down, but I think I already went over my main points. But yeah, that's kind of it. My thoughts on it. The writing was fine. The characters were just products of 2013, especially the male ones. The main character I really like, okay? I like her a lot and whatnot. Will I continue the series? Yes, but I do want to continue the Winston Brothers series first, because I believe there's 7 in the Knitting Club series, and the 4th one is the sister of the Winston Brothers, right? And I think it's technically supposed to be a prequel of that, because it says Winston Brothers number 0, Knitting Club number 1, or number 4, right? On Goodreads, but like, I want to read more of the Winston Brothers. I do accidentally own the 3rd one. I think it was like free at one point, and I downloaded it forever ago, because I was like, Penny, read? Sure. Part of the same series I'm already reading? Sure. So I do want to read the 2nd one and the 3rd one, because that makes sense, of that series at some point before I continue the knitting one. Also, I have connected the dots. It's been like since 2020 since I read the previous book. So like, it's been a while, but I've connected that Penny Reid really makes it as chaotic as possible near the end. Like, she likes to put her characters in dangerous situations. Like a bunch of mob people coming into their house. That scene. And like having to fight these mob people for their safety, so that they are scared into recognizing their feelings for the other character, and they can talk about their feelings, and then the end. In this one, it was a bunch of mobs showing up to this knitting club. Did the knitting club defeat these mobsters who had guns? Yes. One of them may have been stabbed by knitting needles. As soon as that scene started, I was like, someone better be stabbed with knitting needles. And then it actually happened, and I was happy. But it's a weird scene. But yeah, the chaos. I think the chaos near the last like 50 to 25% of her books is very for me, though. Like, I recognize it's not realistic, but I'm having a fun time type chaos, right? Right? Does that make any sense? Probably not. Anyways, I should probably go set up for sprints. So I'm gonna leave you off knowing that I rated it 3 stars. I was deciding between 3 and 3.5, but it was more of a 3 for me. Because it was very slow in the beginning, especially for a book that's pretty long. So yeah. I get why it's labeled as medium paced, despite the fact that her writing feels very easy to read, right? And yeah. That is that. I don't know what the next book I'll be reading for this vlog will be, because I have other reading plans. It's currently Thursday, so I have other reading plans before the weekend, and then the weekend is for the weekend reading vlog. So I won't be starting any book for this for a few days until next Tuesday, so almost a whole entire week it will be. So yeah, I don't know what it will be. Probably the Princess Diaries, if I have to guess, because that one I do have from the library and I should probably read it before it gets returned. If I do finish the audiobook I'm already listening to early tomorrow, I may start it early. That's the thing. But yeah, I probably won't update you until Tuesday because I'll be doing the other vlogs. So, yeah. Hello, we have things to talk about. I may have read a whole entire book, and I may have changed out one of the books. H knows what's gonna happen. Also, it's like 7:30, 7:45. People are home, of course. So if I randomly cut, that's because someone's come to this in the house. But no one should. But yeah, some things have happened. I did read all of the Princess Diaries. In the meantime, it is a Tuesday that I think I said that I was gonna update you probably around. And when I could listen to it, I did listen to the Princess Diaries. Took me 2 days, which I wasn't expecting because it's kind of short, but also like that book. That book. Will I continue the series? No. And that's fine. That's fine. I have a lot of issues with it, which, like, I'm not gonna list them off because there's a lot. Go check the content warnings on Storygraph. I think I mentioned them in a video recently. I don't know. Was it my TBR? Maybe. Was it this video? Maybe. I don't know. Where I mentioned a few of them. And I think it's a good thing that I looked at them because it definitely prepared me for some stuff. And let's just say what's supposed to be humor is very 2000s, which makes sense because it came out in the year 2000. And all that stuff. So like, I had to knock it down half a star because of all that stuff. And then some other things, like I didn't like some other things, blah 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 blah. What I will talk about is what I did like, which is kind of the fact that she's like in 9th grade, so like in this book, so like sometimes I really would be like, oh, she's so childish, why is she, but then I remember she's in 9th grade like it's difficult. I get it. I remember. It wasn't that long ago. I remember. Yeah, everything feels like the worst thing possible. If anything slightly goes wrong. I remember. And while it does feel like she's older than 13, 14, that she is in this book, it is because she is more like the parent in the household more than her mom is. Like, it's like written in journal entries, right? Makes sense because it's her diary. And in some of them she writes to-do lists, and it's like her having to like buy grocery bags and all this stuff and like remind her mom to like cash a check or pay the electricity bill or like all this stuff. Which like kind of says a lot about the writing, not the best. It was very 2000s and all this stuff. The stuff about the characters though, I'm not that mad about it. It's a really good study into like her character in general, and like all that fun stuff. In this, unlike the movie, which I think we all know, let me just tell you, Julie Andrews really really put in the work, because her character in the book, no. But you know, that's fine. In the book, her father is still alive, but he had cancer, and due to the treatment to the cancer, he now is infertile. He can't have any more kids. And being as Mia is his only kid, she is now officially the heir to the throne. She does not know that her father is a prince and all this stuff. She like barely talks to that side of the family, all that fun stuff. So it's really a surprise to her. And like the fact that her father is a prince and all that stuff doesn't really affect her at all. It's the fact that she is now the heir of a country that I don't think she's really been to. No one really knows about. And because of it, everyone is making her change into what a princess needs to be. And she's like, why can't everyone just accept me as who I am, including like her best friend, all this stuff. And yeah, it's like kind of really sad. The only person who really accepts her as who she is her best friend Lily's brother. I do expect like one of the later books to have like a romance between them, because I do know the movie, the first one, end with them being in a relationship, so and whatnot. So yeah. Um, that's fun. Basically, her just trying to handle all this stuff and all this fun, like, it's all just suddenly put on top of her. She's like also like trying not to fail her math class. Her math teacher is now dating her mom. Or she had a giant fight with her best friend and now they're not talking and all this stuff. She's almost always bullied. No boy ever likes her. All this stuff. So like she's dealing with a lot, okay? I get it. And yeah, it's a lot about her trying to handle these things, sometimes not in the best way, but like learning to stand up for herself at points, because like when she does, things turn out fine. Sometimes. Like when she has to stand up to her grandmother for calling paparazzi on her, she's like, I don't want to be on the cover of Vogue. Like, that is not the granddaughter you have. There's also like the thing where at like some dinner thing that they had once upon a time in the past, her grandmother wouldn't let this one lady have a certain meal because, and I quote, she had marriage out of wedlock, and then Mia was like offering her hers because she doesn't eat meat, so she's like, you just have mine. And her grandmother got very mad at her and was like, why? She's like, because she had a kid out of wedlock. She's like, I'm a child out of wedlock. Like, is she just disappointed in me all the time? Like, it's that kind of vibe. Which was sad to read about. There was something else I wanted to say, but I don't remember what it is. So let's see if I remember. Let's see how long I have to cut out for me to remember. I remember, I was thinking about this morning in the shower after I finished this book, right? It's like made this whole thing where like she is the one who has to lead the country in the future and all this stuff, and she has to do all this stuff to become the best person. Like, oh yeah, you're putting a lot of pressure on like a 13-14-year-old. Hear me out. Which like brings into two main things that I kind of have an issue with that, like when I was thinking about it. One, I'm expecting the books are gonna do a similar track that the movies did, where eventually when she gets to the point where she's going to rule or something comes up that she can't be the heir because she's not married and she needs to be married, but like her father never had to be married and he's heir. I assume that's gonna be a thing. But two, she's like 13, 14. Okay, right. Her dad can't have kids because of the cancer and the treatments from the cancer, right? But the plan, it seems like, from what I understand, was forever, for like the whole time, was that he would one day get married and have kids, and those kids would be the heirs to the throne, not Mia, because she wasn't a legitimate heir, out of, like, it was out of wedlock, all this fun stuff, and so, from what I understand the timeline, he's been in remission for about a year, and like, give him like a few years for treatment and all this fun stuff, right? Her parents split up when her mom was pregnant with her, which means there's at least 10 years in the middle there where he could have had other kids, and like it's hinted at that he just sleeps around a lot, and like it's been like from Mia's side is hinted that maybe it's because finding someone to care for you as a prince is very difficult, but like the fact that all this is on a child because this man couldn't settle down in like at least 40 years of life, like, make it make sense in my brain. Like, it's all on her. It's all on her shoulders now because he did not want to settle down because he wanted to live freely for X amount of years, and now here we are. The way I thought someone was either in the bathroom or kitchen and going to that part of the house, or this part of the house, so I stopped talking. No, it was just the Ivy dog in mom's bed repositioning. She is a cutie doll. But yeah, anyways, I had some issues. I'm not surprised by it though. 2.5 stars. Which is like on par with the rest of the reading I've had this month. Which is why we changed one of the books. Okay? I'm going to full-heartedly blame H for this, okay? So, we all know, Lock Every Door was supposed to be one of the books. The last Riley Sager I plan to read, like, possibly ever. I've heard things about, like, the characters are still really bad in that one, and it's the one with the most guessable plot. So, like, every time I would guess the plot, I was gonna, like, see if I was right. And if I did guess the plot, I was just gonna get out of there. Because I was like, I don't need to read through a whole other one. Thank you, Ivy. I don't know if you can hear, but I can hear. Um, I don't need to deal with this again. Like, honestly, you've seen 2 of these now where I hated my life. And really, honestly, you only get 10 minutes of it, of me just ranting about it. The person who has to handle it is H, because H is the one I send at least 1,000,000 voice messages to screaming about it, right? So H, threatened that there would be no watching of Pride and Prejudice, that I recently bought. Very proud, very happy. Together, the 2005 one. Because we did watch Heartstopper finally today. Finally. Been planning to since before September, but here we are. Because Valentine's Day. So, we were talking about Pride and Prejudice because, watched one of H's favorite things. Gotta watch one of mine, right? AKA Pride and Prejudice. Could I have totally read Pride and Prejudice for this because one of my editions is a pinkish cover and annotated it because, like, I'm in the urge to annotate Pride and Prejudice right now. Yes, but H was like, I won't watch Pride and Prejudice with you if you do read Lock Every Door for this stupid vlog. Don't do it. So I'm not reading Lock Every Door. I've switched it. H went, because I'm colorblind, okay? It makes it real difficult for these because I'm colorblind. So H went through my whole entire TBR and just listed off a bunch of books for me that have pinkish covers. Not surprising, most of them were romances. And the one that I did choose was a romance. There were like 3 that I was really thinking about. One of them was The Roommate, which I really wanted to read at some point, but I don't know when that's gonna be. The new Talia Hibbert, I think we all know what that one is. It's a longer title, so I don't remember it. But, like, I think we all know what I'm talking about. And then Ensnared Hearts by Anna Stone, I believe. You can see it now because that's the one I chose. Which is the second book in the Mistress series. And I really did like the first one. I rated it 4 stars. They're pretty fast. It's like under 300 pages. I can totally do it in like a day. Except I won't have time tomorrow because I'm baking cookies during sprints. So we'll see when I can finish it. But I do plan to start it tonight, which is why we're talking about it now. Okay? Now, Ensnared Hearts is about well, the whole entire series is about these 4, I assume it's 4 because it's 4 books in the series, right? CEOs, like high company women, who all run a company together, and whatnot, but they're all gay, and they're all into BDSM. The first one I really liked, rated 4 stars. It was her and a I don't know the proper term, a call girl, prostitute, I don't know the proper term, who is bisexual, who goes to her one night and then they drink a lot. There's like something where she has to get married in order to get her inheritance that is like rightfully hers, because the person who she's getting the inheritance from didn't expect gay marriage to be legal by the time he died, right? By the time all this has to come into effect, right? So they get married and then make a contract where, like, I'm talking too much about the previous book in the series, but that's because I don't know much about this one. They make a contract where they fake married for X amount of time. She gets a bunch of money, she gets her inheritance, right? But then they make a new contract and it's their BDSM contract, and right, it's a good time. A lot of stuff about emotional backgrounds and whatnot. This one I think is gonna have more of the stuff with the emotional background from the glimpse I read of the synopsis earlier, with like things that happened in the past that they have to handle. The leader or member of the company, I think she's the CEO of the company. In this one, her wife had died previously. I don't remember how long ago or what, but her wife had died, and she has working with an intern of some kind or something, or assistant, who isn't really liking the work, but she just wants to get her paycheck type thing, right? And then something happens to them couple. Does it look like I know what I'm talking about? No. but I'm here for it because I am quite literally in my lesbian romance era right now. I wish I was in just romance, but now I'm in lesbian romance. I've already read one. I'm in the middle of another, so like, why not read another one? Okay, why not just to have a fun time? It's on Kindle Unlimited. I can read it easily. Let's go. That's what's happening. And I think that's just it for the update. I don't know. Um, and yeah, we can all be happy that there's not gonna be a 10-minute rant about lock every door now. So yeah, that's it. I may update you tomorrow morning, depending how far I get into Ensnared Hearts tonight. But I don't know. I know people are doing spreads tonight, so we'll see. I just got this notification that like it's happening in like half an hour. So, yeah. I'm gonna go. Hello. I was not planning to update you yet. If you can't tell from my hair. But I got some book mail. Technically, originally, I wasn't supposed to be here until this coming up Tuesday. It is currently the 18th, and it came today. I ordered it the 16th at night, though. So, like, I did get an email yesterday that it was going to be here early, but, like, yeah. Few things to talk about. I am over halfway through in Ensnared Hearts. I now recognize that the first one, I had the same thing where, like, I enjoy it, but, like, it's very much one of those books where, like, I just read a chapter and then move on with my life and then continue it eventually type thing. If that makes any sense. I don't think it does. That being said, I do like it. The relationship has started. It's very much, an intimate relationship, but not a romantic one at this point in time. Though Lydia is helping Kat get through, her breakup. She caught her ex cheating on her. And so Lydia is like kind of like her rebound, but not really. Kind of, but not like she's kind of had a thing for her for a while, and then her girlfriend makes up with her and all this stuff. So like she's helping her through that. She doesn't know exactly what happened between them, but like Lydia knows that something happened there in the breakup, and she very much wants to protect her from the feelings she is feeling because of this. Because like, yeah, you date someone for most of your life, because they were dating since high school and they cheat on you, so you have to move out of your house and your whole entire life plan is kind of thrown into the air. Yeah, I get it. She's upset about it. Now technically she is an intern at the mistress's company that like all the main characters work for, all the doms in the series work at. Most of them are CEOs or run it or something. Lydia recently started working there officially, because she was moving on from her wife's death. She is not only older but also the boss of Kat. Even more now because ever since they started their relationship, Kat's kind of become more of like her personal assistant at this point. So they work very closely together. So it is a known thing that the relationship is very secret, because if they are found out, Kat loses her internship and Lydia gets thrown out of the company because the people who in charge of money, higher ups, the board do not like her because they don't see a point of having a woman running this company. I don't, yeah, for dumb reasons. They do not like the fact that this woman was hired for a lot of money. And whatnot. But yeah, it seems that Kat is helping Lydia grow through her grief and heal a little bit. And like ever since her wife died, she's been very guarded and whatnot. And she's more sensitive now again, like not exactly like she used to be, but she is more willing to let people in, especially Kat. And Kat is just like moving on from her ex and learning to trust people. I mean, in this type of relationship, you have to trust the person, and after the relationship she just went through, it's helping her through that. It's very sweet. I assume they're gonna start talking about their stuff. Kat knows almost nothing about Lydia's personal life. She just learned that she used to live in New Orleans. So I think it was New Orleans, maybe it was Chicago. I don't know. But I think she's gonna learn that she was married at one point and the wife died. and whatnot. So I think that's gonna happen soon. And Lydia does know that the breakup with Kat's ex was like very bad, and like she recently ran into her at a party and it really affected her emotionally, and she was there for her and all this stuff, and so she very much wants to protect her. So even though she doesn't know exactly what happened, she really wants to protect Kat. Love that. And yeah, maybe they'll just go back to Paris. Imagine. I was gonna make an Emily in Paris joke, but like I never watched that show, so I couldn't. Another thing, I started this. I'm leaning back, yeah. Because I have things to say. And I'm only 19 pages in. Let's play the Will I DNF It game. Listen, H has already told me to DNF it. I think H did count how many voice messages I sent about this. Almost every single one being the max minute long voice message. Actually, I should send them on Snapchat so I can indefinitely make them indefinitely longer. Anyways, yeah, the family, listen, the way that the family treats her in general is a trigger, for me. And then the fact that they forget her birthday and all this stuff is another one. And like, I may have to skim through every scene with the family because, like, I will not go into detail. If you want details, ask H. But, like, listen, they forget her birthday. Then they get really upset because she doesn't, like, have any romantic prospects, despite being 30, and they're like, you're 30 and single, it's your first infertility milestone, and all this stuff, and she's like, what the fuck, and all this stuff. There's very much, like, a thing with, her family's culture, like, her younger sister is engaged, and so they very much, view that she should either be engaged or married before her sister, and yet she is single, despite the fact that, like, she has her dream job, and she has a great career, like, all this stuff, but who cares about that, and all that fun stuff, and, like, how her father didn't used to be like this, but ever since her sister got engaged, it's become a thing. Her sister seems very self-centered, and, it needs to be center of attention, and everyone just gives her the attention, because the main character, whose name I forget already, Karina, there we go. Karina, doesn't really need, that type of attention. She's fine without it. It's very much like older sibling type thing, right? Okay, like, if you're an older sibling, you'll get this. Like, after your younger sibling is born, obviously, you do not get all the attention anymore. Makes sense. There's that baby. The baby needs the attention, right? So, like, when you're the older sibling, you understand from an early age that you are not the most important person, and the world does not revolve around you. Is this making any sense? I don't think so. But basically, she has this view, like, she, is not the center of these people's worlds, and she's fine with that, as long as they appreciate her, and accept her for who she is, except they don't. That's the thing, they don't. And her younger sister, because she's the younger sibling, and from birth has had all the attention, she very much thinks the world revolves around her and is upset when things do not go her way, and it's very obvious in that way, and I don't like that. I don't like how her family's treating her romantic prospects, how they just call her jaded and rude. Like, they say that the reason why she hasn't found love is because the way she is, and that she needs to change who she is as a person to find love. And she's like, I want to find someone who appreciates me for me, and all that jazz. I do know what the deal is now. Basically, oh my god, okay. There's this thing, so, like, the sister's engaged, right? And, her parents, set up this thing where they have savings set aside for both the girls, where either they get engaged or want to buy a house, so they can have it can be used as a down payment for a house or a wedding. He says this. Their father says this, that it could be used as a down payment for a house or a marriage. And the sister, the younger one, is basically using up all her money for the wedding. Well, really using up all her money for the wedding, and there's even more. And the older one's like, Karina's like, hey, hot take, your husband's like kind of super rich, so like, why isn't he paying for any of this? And all this stuff, and she wants more money, the sister does. I assume there's gonna be a thing about how Karina's not getting married anytime soon, so why can't she get Karina's money, and all this stuff, right? And then she learns, from her sister that their dad is retiring and gonna sell her mother's house and all this stuff. And no one told her, and I quote, because we thought you were gonna be emotional, and then she gets emotional, and they're like, see, we were right. And I'm like, she does all the work to keep this house standing, and then you go and sell it on her and decide not to tell her, and don't even offer to, like, she's all like, hey, I'll buy it from you. And he's like, no. And she's like, well, you have my money for my wedding, so give it to me. And he's like, no, but he did say previously that it could be used as a down payment for a house, but he won't let her use it as a down payment for the house. She has to get married, or she has to get engaged to get the money, and that's why she needs to get engaged. In this book, that's what the deal is, so that she can get engaged, but she wants a love match. Also, I really should have expected to not have a good time when this book started with a quote from The Taming of the Shrew. Okay, we all know how that went for me. I'm not... Yeah, H has already told me to DNF it because I'm not having a good time. Obviously, I am 19 pages in. I do know the third chapter is his point of view, so that's fun. Thanks for the audiobook. I do have the audiobook also from the library. That's how I've been reading it so far. The current plan is to push through until the romance aspect actually starts, and if I enjoy the romance even a little bit, I'll continue. I think I could be fine if I just skim through the family stuff. I think it's the way that the family is really, like, yeah. Furthermore, do not think I'm going to be following the series or continuing the series, because from what I understand, it's a series based off of the aunties or something in this family or something like that. It says something aunties in the name of the series. So I assume it's following the same family, and I can't handle this for more than one book, okay? I'm very lucky it's about 350 pages, okay? It's moderately sized book. I can do it. I can push through. Push through. With the power of 3 times speed. I can do it. But yeah. I'm not having a good time with family. Listen, in my defense, it is some triggering stuff for me personally, the way that they treat her. So I'm just, also the way that no one cares that they forgot her birthday, and when she calls them out for it, they just get mad at her for calling them out, and I'm like, no, you should be called out. Yeah, I'm not having a good time. But yeah, I'm gonna push through and hope that I like the romance more, and if I do like the romance, I will continue the rest. And yeah. Now that we got over that, I'm gonna break them with scissors because it's time to open up my present to myself. My present to myself, yay. There is one book in here. There we go, I got it. I got myself 2 things. This is one of them. I will open them in a second. Not H messaging me. I can't wait to turn down the volume of that whole entire clip because, oh my god. Anyways, the book about myself is In Deeper Waters by F.T. Lucas. If you watched the Pride reading vlog, which like no one did, so like why didn't you? In June last year, I read the second of this like kind of Vena book by F.T. Lucas, and I bought it, which is So This Is Ever After, right? Really love that one. This was the first one by F.T. Lucas that I read. Loved it instantaneously. I think I read it December. Well, I know I read it December of 2021. Where Riveted has this thing where they have a bunch of books free each for like one day, all of December. Right? I read this all in one day in doing that. on that. And I loved it. And after buying So This Is Ever After, I was like, hot take, what if I buy this one? Or just have it on my wish list. And then I needed something that was like $12 to get free shipping when I bought these. So I was like, this is 13, I think this was 13. So I was like, let's do it. Yes, I got the hardcover just because my copy of So This Is Ever After is hardcover because I got it right when it came out, so there wasn't paperbacks yet. I love it. I don't remember what someone described this as. I think maybe it was like gay Last Airbender. I describe it as gay shark boy and lava girl. Right? I love this book. Will I reread it soon? Maybe. It's been a good chunk of time. The way I got it for pretty cheap when it's $20 in the US. How did I get it for $14? Anyways, yes, I love this. Also, the cover is just beautiful, okay? Wait, I haven't... Let's take off the dust jacket. Purple and yellow. Very interesting. It's got the nice gold. Anyways, yeah, I really want to read this now. Oh no. Good news is I know where I'm putting it on my bookshelf. The way I just realized that this is the book that started the gay pirates joke in this house. Where I think when I was reading this was right around when my mom started to date her boyfriend, right? And he was like asking me what I was reading, and I was describing this book, and he was like, gay pirates? I was like, technically there are pirates, but pirates aren't gay. They are, okay, very, yeah, yeah. And so now it's a thing whenever I'm reading a book and it's not gay, he's like, why don't you read some gay pirates? And he complains that I don't read enough gay pirates, aka gay books. So when I was planning the buddy reads with H for the rest of the year, there may have been talk about how we need to read more gay pirates, and there may have been an agreement. So, H, hear me out. If we want to add an extra book, to that, we could read some gay pirates, even though we already have a gay pirate, actual gay pirate, one play. We could, like, gay pirates. Anyways, time to open up these. I'm so excited. I'm gonna use these on my Pride and Prejudice. Mama got a new thing of highlighters. So I have erasable highlighters. For those who do not know, I have erasable highlighters already. I could go grab them. They're right over there in the desk. I'll go grab them real quick. I have a few things to explain. So these are what the ones I have look like. One, I'm running out of the light blue, and two, because I got both the pastel and the vibrant, but the vibrants and the purple and the blue and the green are way too dark, like you can't see the text underneath, which is why I need to redo my annotation for blood markers. I think I did it in either this or purple. I don't remember which one. But the way that you erase it is with this side that is a different liquid, right? So you can't highlight over what you've already erased because the liquid's in the paper. I don't understand the chemical reaction, but yeah. Plus I wanted a different range of colors. We have plenty of colors. And the way that these ones erase, if you can see, if you watched, I think it was my first weekly reading vlog, very similar to my erasable pens, where it's with friction, so you can go over where you erase. And I got like yellow, I got purple, I got pink and green, and a different green, and blue, and another pink. I don't know if they're different. This is like a reddish color. I don't know what color this is. I'm colorblind. Peach, gray, another green, a pink, but a different pink, and blue, and another blue that fell, which is good because I go through blue a lot. We don't need to talk about it. Two different blues actually. I barely can tell that those are two different blues. Colorblind, can you tell? But yes, I bought these to use. They are the Pilot brand. So that's fun. I am very excited. I'm going to use these on Pride and Prejudice soon. I'm very excited. Very happy that I got them. Also the pastels, and they're just very cute to look at. So I can use these. I'm very happy. Okay, did I need to buy more highlighters? No, I have a whole unopened pack over there of basic highlighters. Plus all the others are this kind. but you know, they're so pretty. And at least I got the 14 pack and not the literal bucket. They have a literal bucket version and I didn't get it. Therefore, you know, some self-control. Some self-control. Anyways, I'm gonna go read more of this book while playing Stardew Valley because I need something relaxing to play while I read it. Is this green? It kind of looks blue. Maybe it's sea green. I don't know. I'm colorblind. H makes fun of me sometimes, okay? Anyways, I'm gonna go. Wish I was reading this book. And I will talk to you whenever I read one of the books that I'm reading. I don't know. Or if I DNF this. I don't want to, but if I do, I see, here's my real thing why I don't want to DNF this. Okay, ready? I already set it up for the Buzzwordathon by Books and Lala. I have it set up as my prompt, or my thing to fill in the prompt for this month. But I thought it was verb ending in ing, but it's just a verb. So, I think I could easily find another one from all the ones that I have already read. So I'm fine. You know, it's my DNFing era. My average rating this month is already so low. It's fine if I DNF it. It's fine. Anyways, I'm gonna go put these in a place in that drawer. It's running out of space with all the sticky notes and all the highlighters. It's fine. Hello. The way the window glare is a thing. We have things to say. Yes, I did finally wear something pink for the thumbnail. Took me long enough. I read it all yesterday. I did not listen to any of it when I was playing Stardew in actuality. And that's fine. But I did read all of it last night. I am going to be real. I did up the speed a lot, okay? I have this Chrome extension that makes it so I can speed up things, which is how I listen or watch TV at like 2.5 times speed all the time. So like I can retain stuff, get information at a faster speed when watching things, because like practice, I guess, is like my constant, right? And 3 times speed was a little slow for me, getting through this, especially pushing through the first few chapters and getting to the romance aspect, right? Because I have some issues with the relationship. I am a genius. Let's just say this. Was it very predictable? Yes, but I'm still a genius, okay? Okay, let me live my best life. So I did up it to 4 times speed on my Chrome extension. The thing though is that it doesn't count Libby. Chrome apparently doesn't count Libby audiobooks as like an actual form of audio. So it wouldn't work on Libby, but it does work on Scribd. So, and it's on Scribd too. So I listened to it that way at 4 times speed, but I was also reading along. So like, it's fine. And I'm going with 3 stars. And yeah. 1, Bindu, Karina's sister, kind of the worst. And still, like, the father is kind of bad. The mother, the grandmother, I can somewhat let go, because there's some cultural and not even just cultural, but generational, differences. And it's talked about a lot about, after being, like, the firstborns in America from immigrant parents, really how that affects you and whatnot, and how you have to do all these things to make this kind of sacrifice your parents did to make it so that you could live this life be worth it, quote unquote. And which is why like her family really does not like her new job. She recently got her dream job working at like a smaller company and whatnot, and she doesn't like get paid as much as she did at her old job that was like bigger fun or bigger company. I don't know exactly what, but like she's happier and all this stuff, but no one recognizes that because they're all like, but you don't get paid as much, which means it's not worth it, blah 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 blah, right? Also, you're not married before 30 and all this stuff. So like I can let the grandmother have a little bit of a pass and whatnot, a little bit, and so can the dad, because by the end he does recognize that the whole not allowing the dog come up my stairs right now, dear God, Bella, please, yeah, what are you looking at? Not letting his daughter save up the money to buy the house from him is like a dumb thing. Like, let her keep it in the family. I get that him selling the house is his way of moving on, but her way of moving on is achieving her mother's dream for this house and this car that she has, that she had to previously buy from him, that he was going to sell, that was her mother's as well, and all this stuff. So so many jangly dogs in my room. By the end of the book, after Preem, listen, I listened to the audiobook, I should know how it's pronounced, told them off. I have to mention this. He does tell him off for being like, hey, the fact that you never actually gave her the chance to do this and buy the house from you, in a way that doesn't force her to get married, is kind of a shitty thing to do. So by the end of the book, he's like, hey, I will not sell the house to someone else and give you the 6 months you need to save up the money to buy the house from me. Which, like, hear me out. What should have been done from the beginning? Like, you know that this is, like, her dream to have this house. It's her, like, goal. Her other life goal after her job is, like, to have this house and fix up the way that her mother always wanted and have a family there. And so then you go and try to sell it to someone else and then, make it her fault that she can't have the house. Like, and then by the end of the book, recognize that, like, an extra 6 months is nothing in the grand scheme of things, to make it so she can pay you the money for the house. Like, she's paying the money to live there. Like, he still gets the same amount of money. He just has to wait 6 more months. And it stays in the family. Anyways, Bintu is the worst. Her sister is actually the worst. There is, like, this one text message conversation that I took a photo of and sent to H, and I was like, proof that she is actually the worst, and she's like that or worse all the time. I don't know if I kept it. I think I may have already deleted it off my phone, but if I did keep it, it will be up right here, because, like, oh boy. Definitely center of attention, sibling who kind of needs to be taken care of at all times. And it very much gives me the vibes that Karina, after their mother died, very much became like the second parent. Like, she takes care of the house, she takes care of the car, and all this stuff. And she didn't push aside her love life for this. She pushed aside her love life for a career, which was, like, her goal. Anyways, like, that was her plan. But, like, the way she did this to take care of her sister, like, almost constantly, is like, it's giving me, like, she's taking care of everyone, and then everyone just ignores that she's there and doing all this stuff, and she's not worthy of, like, praise because she's not married. I should not be talking, like, it makes me so mad. So mad. And whatnot, it is, I mean, the conversation with the dad at the end where she was like, yeah, you don't know that I finished fixing up the car because I never talk to you and you never ask and you're always at work. But, like, if I'm always at work, it's an issue, but you can do it. Like, that was a thing. Yeah, the sister does get told off. It was very beautiful when Preem does it. But I would have liked it more if Karina was the one to do it. Though he does help her recognize that she does not have to do everything that Bindu asks her to do. It is not her job to solve all of Bindu's issues, and yeah. So, you know, we love that. Now let's talk about the actual romance in this actual romance book. Oh my god, imagine that. Before I do that, I should mention the aunties. The aunties is basically a thing where every older woman who is not technically part of your family and whatnot in this culture is called an auntie, right? And they are very big on matchmaking and whatnot. And there's this group of aunties that used to be friends with Karina's mother and help take care of her and all this stuff. And they seem to be, like, the only ones that really care about her. Like, they do try to set her up with some of the worst people ever. But they do try to help her find a love match and all this stuff. And understand why she wants a love match. And, you know, we love that for her. And I assume the other books in the series will be about her two best friends. And maybe they'll end up with his best friends. I don't know. But, like, I can see where that could happen, okay? There's some stuff with, I think it was Frina and one of the guys. I don't know. Anyways, Prim, is Dr. Dill. He's, a personality host of a TV show, where he talks about heart health, usually. But also, like, how, there's, like, this whole thing where, like, they meet at a bar, the night before. God, the way I saw this a mile away. They meet at a bar, they hit it off, they talk for, like, many hours, they make out, and then he leaves her high and dry in a random guy's office, who is actually one of his best friends, and just leaves, and whatnot. And the whole time that they're talking about love and romance and all that fun stuff. And then the host or the guest for his show the next day is her sister Bindu. And she is dragged along to basically, not even basically, she says that Karina's her assistant. Yeah. So she's dragged around to record it for her sister's social media. I think she has a YouTube channel. I don't know. And whatnot. And yeah, on the show he talks about how love isn't actually like a real thing. It's just a chemical reaction. And how the side effects of love can actually be bad for you physically, health-wise. Like, yeah, like broken heart syndrome, all that stuff. And so she straight up goes at him and is like, excuse me, what the fudge? You told me that love was, like, he was saying all the stuff at the bar, and then he does this, and it's very, like, complete opposites that he's saying. How dare he, like, try to get in her pants by saying things that he doesn't believe or whatnot. But technically the show that they're recording is on commercial, but Bindu's thing's still recording, and then she uploads it to her channel. So it blows up in their faces. The people who were supposed to help him pay for the health center that he's building, drop out. The funding drops out because they're like, you have a bad, public image right now, because he's kind of looked at as a playboy currently, because of this. And she wants to get engaged, so that she can, like, pay for her house. Yeah, you know, I talked about this earlier, but the best way to do it, because she is 30, and literally one of the dating sites she's on considers 25 to be elderly in this dating situation. Like, yeah. So she's online dating. It doesn't end up well. There's this one, so, like, Bindu and the aunties make a plan to, like, stick them together, and are like, hey, you two could be great together. And he recognizes that, hey, he needs money and she needs money. If they fake an engagement, she gets money from her dad, and the people who are like, yeah, hey, but bad public image, will actually be like, oh, you know, your public image is fixed because you're actually making it with this woman, and whatnot. So here's your money, right? Or something like that. I don't know. And so he is trying to get her to agree to this plan, but she doesn't know it's an official plan at this point in time. She goes on a date with this guy. She's like, hey, don't give me cinnamon on my latte. Thanks. He basically calls her boring and a bunch of other stuff. And very controlling guy. And then he's like, well, I know you said you didn't want cinnamon, but I put, cinnamon syrup in it. Or cinnamon concentrate in it or something like that. She's allergic. So she starts breaking out in hives, and he's like, how dare you not like that I put cinnamon in it? How, yeah. But don't worry, Prim is, like, basically stalking her, and he's there. The way I saw this part, by the way, too. And he takes her to the hospital, make sure everything's taken care of, all that fun stuff. And it's like, at the hospital, he's like, hey, hear me out. If we get fake engaged, we can do this. Now here's her thing. In theory, this could work out, but when they break up, because he's such a public figure, as the woman, she will be more targeted by the community as the one in the wrong here, by this breakup, and it will make it even harder for her to find a love match because no one will want to be with her, right? So she's like, I don't know, it will be my plan B, but like currently I'm going to try to find a love match. And so throughout this book, she is dating people online, not going well, while he's trying to get her to go with his plan, which includes getting her off on a car. Listen, I have issues with romance. Like, they have very different views on love and romance. They're very similar in other ways, but that's like the main thing that they are very different in, which is like kind of something important. Also, there's like this whole thing where he's never said I love you to anyone, including his parents. So I knew that was gonna be a thing in the end. Wow, who could have guessed? And yeah, but steamy scenes were pretty good, which is kind of why I may continue the series. I don't know, I'll see when they come out, but steamy scenes were pretty good. I'll give it that, okay? But yeah, he tries a bunch of things. Eventually, like, they start talking. He helps her out with some stuff. And then they start sleeping together kind of regularly. And then he starts taking care of her. Here's a continuation of the, like, there are different views of love and romance. Kind of a connected thing is that her love language is very spoken, words of affirmation. She needs to hear the words I love you. She tells the people that she cares in her life that she cares for them by saying that she cares for them, right? And she needs that done for her. He is very much the type of person who does it by actions. He like takes care of her, makes her favorite breakfast, knows what spices she likes on her scrambled eggs just by noticing how she eats food. Like the 2 times they ate food together, right? Like, he notices the little things and uses it to like make her favorite breakfast, make sure she can sleep at night, all this stuff. He's very caring in that way, which, like, I'm not gonna lie, kind of hot. You know, I wouldn't mind a guy noticing how I like my coffee or eggs, or what type of spices I like on my food without me having to tell him, and then he makes me that the breakfast after, like, morning after. Like, I would not mind it. Also, his blackout curtains seem very nice because she has sleeping issues, and he's like, oh, it's fine, I have blackout curtains. And then she sleeps and she's like, oh my god, I slept. As a fellow person who has sleeping issues, listen, maybe it's a Taurus thing. She's a Taurus. We're both Tauruses, and it's hinted at that Tauruses hold a grudge. Not hinted at, it's straight up said that Tauruses hold a grudge. And I'm like, listen, you're not wrong, but please. So yeah, I'm gonna base all our similarities in that fact on the fact that we're both Tauruses, right? So they start like having kind of romantic feelings for each other. She starts feeling things for him. He starts feeling things for her pretty early on, but he doesn't recognize what the feeling is. He's been engaged before, but it was like matchmaking, not a love match. But when she died, he was very heavily affected by this, and he doesn't recognize that what the reason why is because of love. That's why he's doing a bunch of stuff. And she's like, you put aside 3 years of your life to make this whole entire, like, you changed your whole entire career path because of this. You are doing a bunch of different things because of this. 3 years later, type thing, and like, that's love, my dude. The fact that you can't recognize it, a little iffy. But yeah, they continue to do that. She tries to date other people. None of it really turns out well. Meanwhile, he's there. She's going through stuff with the family. And he's there for her. He calls her Rena honey a lot. They do it in the shower at one point. And then the like official plan of when they're gonna tell people that they're engaged comes up. And at this point, she loves him. And he clearly loves her, but he doesn't know how to recognize this in himself, right? And it's mentioned later on, after all this stuff goes down, that like there's a lot of stuff with like men, especially in this culture, having to not having the ability to show emotion that they feel. or tell how they feel or love someone, especially women, and how that's not healthy. And you would think he would know this as a person who talks about this stuff on his TV show, but you know, why is my nose so runny? Dear God, I'm gonna blame the allergies I'm on. Also, we have weird allergies. That's another thing. But yeah, the thing when they're supposed to announce their engagement happens, which happens to be at Bindu's engagement party, right? But he shows up and she recognizes, like, he's not gonna tell her. She's like, tell me. And he's like, no. I can't do that to you. I mean, I do care for you and I will do whatever I can to protect you, care for you, and that should be enough. And she's like, it's not. It's what I need in a relationship. And they both recognize that this has, like, kind of been the standing issue the whole time and all this stuff. And so she goes away. She leaves. And Bindu gets really upset that everyone else is paying more attention to her sister than her. Quite literally, she starts, like, getting hysterical that her whole entire engagement party is ruined because her sister broke up with her boyfriend at her engagement party. I don't know. And a lot of people are, like, saying that, like, some rude things. She's saying some rude things about her sister. And so Prim goes up. This is when Prim goes up and tells him off. Basically tells Bindu that she literally uses her sister to do things for her. And never appreciates her and blames her for everything and all this stuff. And then goes up to her father and is like, you don't respect your daughter in a way that you respect your younger daughter. And it's kind of, like, odd and not healthy. The dad does punch him in the face. That happens. And then that's when the dad, like, finally admits that, hey, maybe he was in the wrong. Who could have guessed? Except for me, forever ago. And she realizes that, like, hey, love match kind of important. For her, but also, like, I think they both recognize at some point in this, I don't know when exactly, that the perfect match is actually a mix of what both they feel, which is, like, she wants a love match, true love type thing, and he believes in communication is really important, and honesty and loyalty and all this stuff, but, like, the emotion of love is just chemicals in your brain type thing. And they kind of at one point recognize that it's kind of like a mix of the both, right? I've been talking way too long about this book, but it's fine. This vlog's already way too long anyways. So, yeah, the next morning, he wakes up super hungover, with his mom at his house. This scene is actually kind of funny, because his mother, keeps on being like, you broke my daughter-in-law's heart. And he's like, we're not even engaged. She turned me down. She's like, I do not care. She is my daughter-in-law. You broke her heart. You are the, it's very funny. And then she makes his favorite food for him. And then his friends go over and they're like, how dare you not recognize that you love her? He has a conversation with his mother about how they never say I love you in the family. And the family is very much the type to show I love you with actions. And she does say the words. It's not her fault that he never heard them. And then his friends come in and then he's like, oh shoot, I love her. And they're like, wow, my dude, who could have guessed? Except all of us a year ago, like halfway through the book, okay? The first time they banged, really. They kind of recognized it was coming, okay? So, then he goes, pays for the final restorations of her car, which is, like, a lot of money. And she's like, oh, okay. She decides to think about things, and he's all, like, freaking out, because he's like, oh my god, she's not showing up to talk to me, oh no. But then, they decide to have a conversation, about how they feel. He says, I love you. I was not surprised by the fact that as soon as he says the words, their relationship is magically fixed. I saw that a mile away. As soon as he said that he's never said I love you to someone before, I knew that was gonna happen. And yeah, they're happily ever after. I think they're kind of officially engaged at this point. They're trying to figure out when they want to get married, to not intervene with her sister's marriage, and then her sister decides to elope and is like, okay, now you take care of everyone else who is gonna be angry about this while I'm gone getting married. And she's like, I don't want to. And he's like, hear me out, you don't have to. And she's like, you're right, I don't. It's not my job to be her mother, and all this stuff. So she's gonna get her house, she has her car, she has the fiance, and she has the dream job, and we love that for her. 3 stars. Hear me out. A good chunk of this book, I was worried about this relationship because they have very strong differences in belief systems on love and whatnot. And it was very predictable how it solved this issue. A lot of things were very predictable. That being said, it was very cute at moments. Yeah, I get it. The steamy scenes were good. And the family got told off, which is what I really needed. And yeah, 3 stars. I guess that's it. Now, the current plan is that I will finish Ensnared Hearts today at some point, and I will update you tomorrow and finish this vlog off. So, yeah. I've been filming for way too long talking about this book. That was just okay. I say that, but, like, the writing was pretty good. I had a good time. It just wasn't my favorite. Alright. Also, screw every man who said that she did not look good in sweater vest, which is like her favorite outfit. She loves sweater vests, or like she likes to wear black. She looks good in it. Matches her hair, so she looks good in it. And then people complain that she wears black all the time, and meanwhile he's there and he's like hubba hubba every single time she wears a sweater vest or black, which is like almost all the time. Which I find hilarious. He's got a thing for sweater vests now. I'm just gonna say that. If he didn't have one before, he does now. Yeah. I finished the book. So we're here early. But you know, might as well finish this vlog. Is it almost 2 hours long? Yes. Am I gonna cut out almost everything I said about Dr. Dill? Yes. I don't think you need to know the plot basis. It's fine. It's fine. You don't need 25 minutes of that. You just need 5. So basically, Ensnared Hearts, I also gave 3 stars. It was fine. Everything I expected to happen happened. That seems to be the theme of these books. I mean, I've only read one other one, which is the first book of the series. But basically, you can kind of guess where everything goes. Like, their employee and employer, older woman relationship. Lydia has issues with her wife being dead and the grief of that, and wondering if filling a heart with someone else is letting down the memory of her wife, but also like not knowing if she can move on at all. And Kat is dealing with her ex who cheated on her and having trust issues and all this stuff. So it's kind of obvious that there was going to be something where one of the co-workers kind of tells on them without any real evidence that they're a couple. So then Kat gets fired from her position, that they end up having a giant fight because Lydia is scared of forming a new relationship and being now recognizing that she's in love with Kat, and kind of betraying her dead wife and all that. And then Kat instantly running away because of this, because of her past trust issues with her ex cheating on her. And so as soon as this confrontation happens, she runs away, and all this stuff. But no, oh no, they end up happy together and they live in Paris now. Yeah, 3 stars. Like, it was predictable, but like much more enjoyable time than I would have had with the Riley Sager. So that's another thing cut out. The whole entire premise I did for Riley Sager. Anyways, that's my 2-minute update / final thoughts on a book. You know what? Maybe I should do that every time. Anyways, since it's the end of the vlog, I'm gonna go through every book I read for this. Starting with technically the 2 I didn't read. I didn't read Riley Sager. Didn't even try. Of course. And then I don't remember how far I got into this, but I DNF'd it. I'm good. I looked at reviews. Remember, there is a review that I really enjoyed in the description. I'll put the link. Really talks more in depth about all my thoughts about this in general, but also like further stating why it's a good idea I didn't finish it, because like generally none of these things seem enjoyable to me. Like belittling someone's trauma. But yeah, no, the writing style is not good, and I didn't like the main character, so yeah, I get why a lot of people don't like that one. Then there was Neanderthal Seeks Human. The way that one ended up being so weird near the end, but it's a good time, I guess. I didn't dislike it. And, you know, it wasn't like the most, I mean, I guess it was pretty well written. I mean, yeah. I like her writing, I think. I'm pretty sure at this point. And I am going to continue the series, and it was a good book, and I rated it 3 stars. I guess if I had to choose a winner of this book, it'd be that or Dating Dr. Dill. I don't know. Because other than the Princess Diaries, I rated every single one that I did finish 3 stars. So, Princess Diaries, I'm pretty sure I rated 2.5. I really, really wanted it to be more about, like it hinted a lot about the main character having to deal with, this new information and how her life is affected because of this, and how it seems to her that everyone in her family wants her to change into this princess that she's supposed to be, but she just wants to be a normal teenage girl. At this point, she is just a teenage girl. The biggest issue she had before this was the fact that she's flat-chested, and she's failing her math class. Like, she's like, I just want to grow boobs. And I don't like the fact that my math teacher is dating my mom. Like, and then all this other stuff happens. That being said, there's some questionable stuff throughout it. Very product of 2000s. Yeah, moving on. And then, of course, yesterday I read all of Dating Dr. Dill. 3 stars. I really did not like the family in this. But there was a lot of conversation about being children of immigrants, and how them upending their whole entire lives to create this life for their children, and now them being adults, they have to live up to their parents' expectations for making it seem like it's worth it for this whole entire upending to have happened, whether that be in a career, usually as a doctor, or marriage and having children, and all this stuff. And how they have dreams of their own, and they should be able to achieve those dreams, and have people happy for them. There was some basic issues I had with the relationship, some basic fundamental views on love in general that, like, I knew how it was going to resolve itself, but like, realistically, I don't think it would have solved itself properly. But otherwise, they are a cute couple. The way that they handle their relationship is cute, how they have a lot in common otherwise, how he takes care of her to show his love and affection. Very beautiful, and the Smexy scenes were good. So 3 stars. Don't know if I'll continue the series. We'll see. Will I keep it? I don't know. I think it'll probably end up on the unhaul pile, but like, I have books that are 4 stars on that pile, so like, what do I know? What do I know? Yeah, I failed. And then of course there's Ensnared Hearts, which I also rated 3 stars. It was a good time, exactly what I expected. Quick read, even though it did take me multiple days, because I'm me. But yeah, I enjoyed it. Glad I read it, because like, hot take, I need a continued series. And yeah, this is just such a mediocre episode, because like, most book I read, was just 3 stars, like, for the most part. So yeah, very mediocre. Which is great for a 2-hour long vlog. Let's see how short I can make it. And yeah, I guess it's time to close off the vlog then. Everything is linked below. I now have as a link tree for all my links, because it looks nicer. It looks cleaner. Thank you very much. As well as that, review of One Last Stop that I keep on mentioning. Go check it out. Much appreciated. And then up above in the cards will be the playlist for the other monochromatic reading vlogs. This is the second to last one. The next one will be next month. The purple one will be next month, and that will be the last one. Very intriguing. I don't know particularly when the next video is going up or anything. I know for the most part Wednesdays are Read With Me's, unless if a TBR has to go up instead. So there's something go up the Wednesday after this goes up, and the next Saturday will probably be the wrap up for this month. So if you want to hear me talk about more lesbian romances, because I think that was the 3rd one, Ensnared Hearts was the 3rd one I read this month, check that out. And that's that. So until I see you again.